leftover Mexican inspired fried rice. What? Let me show you how to do that. So first of all, you're gonna need a silicone spatula and a cast iron pan, or you can use a non-stick. I went with the cast iron because woks, not everybody has a wok or the firepower for a wok. So for this example, we're gonna go ahead and just stick with the cast iron or a non-stick, like I said before. So the ingredients that I have from or that are leftovers from my carne asada, it's the rice, the meat, scallions, and cilantro. So for the scallions, we're just gonna do a little fine chop here, and for the cilantro, you can use the leaves if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and just pretty much use the tips. The cilantro tips are full of flavor. For the meat, we're gonna go ahead and do a small dice. Now, by this point, the cast iron should have been sitting on your stove for about 10 to 12 minutes on low medium heat. If it's hot to the touch, it should be hot enough to melt your fat, but the fat has to be smoking. If it's not smoking, it's not ready. So once it's smoking and you get it to this point, you're gonna add your first ingredient, which is gonna be garlic. I chose to put garlic even though the rice has garlic already. I love garlic, and this gives it, that extra layer that you need on the fat that coats every single grain of rice. So the garlic is gonna start changing color. Just make sure it doesn't burn on you. And before that happens, I'm gonna add the carne asada that we chopped up, that we cubed up. So I'm moving it around, making sure that it's cooked all the way through and every single piece starts to begin to get a little bit of that char. Also, keep in mind, we're also kind of looking at the garlic, make sure it doesn't burn up on you. I'm gonna move it around, and almost immediately we're gonna add the rice. Now, as you can see, this rice is not clumped up. I use basmati rice to make my red rice or my Mexican rice. I got a lot of crap on my other video because I use jasmine, but guess what? Long grain rice is pretty much all rice belongs to Asia. It originated in Asia. So jasmine and basmati is great for pilaf, which is pretty much what this is. So anyways, so we're gonna move this through, move it along, and we're gonna add something similar to soy sauce that Mexican cuisine is pretty much using right now, and that's salsa Maggi. But before we add that, we're gonna make sure that every single grain of rice touches the cast iron, and I'm gonna move it around every once in a while, flatten it, move it around, flatten it. So there you go. We're adding the Maggi sauce. This pretty much just gives you that little extra sodium, that little extra umami. If you don't have Maggi, you can use your typical Kikkoman soy sauce. That'll work. And then just make sure you cook it through. There's no moisture left because that would make the rice stick. Then we're adding our cilantro tips and our scallion. We're gonna move that around. We're not gonna cook this uh, too much because then they will begin to wilt and look kind of weird and that ugly green color that we don't like. So for flavor, the cilantro tips will give you that robust freshness. Then obviously we needed eggs, so instead of mixing the egg with the rice, we're gonna go ahead and just do a sunny side up egg, and we're gonna add a little bit of fat on our non-stick pan. And if you have a non-stick, please make sure you don't use any metal utensils. So I like it kind of crispy at the bottom. To serve, I'm serving it in a bowl. We're gonna go ahead and just put that egg on top. Now you can see every single grain of rice is nice and separate. There's no clumps. Beautiful, bright greens. Nice ratio meat to rice, and then our egg on top. This is gonna be a pretty rich dish and an amazing breakfast. On top of that, I'm gonna add a little bit of the cilantro leaves just to kind of give it that little extra touch. And then I'm also gonna add our matcha sauce. And if you want a recipe for that, let me know. Matcha sauce on the crispy sunny side up egg over a leftover Mexican inspired fried rice. I mean, come on, what else can you ask for breakfast? I mean, look at that. How beautiful is that? Now you know how to do fried rice. Basically the same as any other fried rice. So, peace.